Well, speak of the devil, because the way my summers have been lately, I might as well get into the role. And I'm just sitting here on a Sunday on a lazy afternoon. Taxman's taking all my dough, so I might as well do a podcast. And yes, it's the man. Since he was a kid, he envisioned being an elevator operator, but he realized the profession had so many ups and downs. He wanted something more consistent, so he became a drummer instead of Chris. It's Greg.
Thank you.
And whoever else was supposed to be here isn't, so this is like sort of a quasi part two to where we left off.
Up in the subway.
Yeah. But we have plenty of guests ahead, but we can always ramble on for you. And yes, we neglected our Superman thing, because this happens after every podcast. Greg or I will always say...
we should have talked about it.
Yeah, we always say that. We always forget. So what did we forget?
We forgot about It's a Bird, It's a Plane, I think that's the name.
That's the name.
The musical Superman thing from the 70s, which was, I don't know, atrocious, I guess is a good word for it.
Well, you think, okay, wasn't there one, too, did Julie Taymor did one, I could be wrong, like a Spider-Man one that was like a total, but it wasn't even funny because a lot of people got hurt on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember a lot of people got hurt on that one?
Well, that was more recent. That was like 20, in this last 10 years. Yeah. And the guy was flying around or something, and he fell or had banged into something, or I don't know what.
I mean, you would think by now they would have, in terms of like tech and stuff, how they'd be able to do it.
Well, it was a little tough on Broadway. I mean, it's like Peter Pan action with wires and rigs and stuff.
But I can't remember. I remember It's a Bird, It's a Plane. Never saw it. I have no idea who started it, or anything else.
I forget his name. I'd have to look it up. But, yeah, it was weird. I mean, I watched some of this stuff, and there's a fight, and while there's a fight, he's singing, and it's like, he just, like, does this thing with, like, raises both arms to punch two guys, and they just kind of fly back, and it's, like, so, like, lame.
I've never gotten, like, that's what one person said to me why she didn't like musicals it seems so unnatural. You're doing something, and then you just break out into song.
I used to like musicals, and then I just sort of fell out of favor with them. I mean, if you're playing in one, or you're in the pit, it's kind of fun. But, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. It's kind of like, really, but I don't know.
I had a weird one. I saw Tommy recently again, and this got me about in terms of the movie, where it wasn't good or bad in terms of being good or bad. It was just seeing all those rock stars so young.
Right.
It just really took me aback watching it.
I never really actually saw I don't remember Tina Turner's performance in that. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
It's not like a great movie. It's like one of those you should just see to see if you're a Who fan.
Yeah, I remember I saw it when it came out, and I didn't quite get it.
The urban legend goes that the whole thing about the monolith and them peeing on Who's Next, it's a middle finger to Stanley Kubrick because they wanted him to direct Tommy and he won't.
Oh.
But nobody's confirmed. But that story about the pinball wizard is true.
Oh, yeah?
Which I found, there was a story, I guess there was some critic in England, in London, who was like, really influential. And when they first brought him the acetate of Tommy, he didn't like it. But Townsend knew he was a huge pinball fan, so they stuck Pinball Wizard in it.
Nah.
Now, you would think Pete Townsend wouldn't do that, but even in his bio, he says he did it.
Yeah.
Because there's all those urban legends.
Sure.
But isn't it amazing? Oh, this sucks. Oh, wait, there's a song about pinball.
Yeah, all right, you're in. Yeah, well, whatever it takes, I guess, You
got to know sometimes, like, promotion and how the Brown knows people. And
stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's like, he likes peanut brittle? Let's bring him some peanut brittle. Or like, unfortunately, in the 70s, with some of those DJs liked when they were doing payola.
Yeah, right.
That was quite...
Look, it's a snowstorm in the studio.
But you actually, how was Cheap Trick?
Cheap Trick was very, very good. They surprised me by doing a lot of the, they did some older stuff. Like they did this one song called Need Your Love. That's a real favorite of mine. And then Big Eyes, which was like, I could have left happy just hearing that song. because I love that song.
It's always like, I always have that too. Like sometimes it's like when it's nice they do. I think at this point they're comfortable in their careers.
They did a couple new ones.
They'll do the hits, but they know a lot of the fans coming. They're old time fans,
right?
Do the deep cuts.
Yeah, it was definitely an older crowd. I mean, they did a couple new songs. You know, there was one I had no idea what it was. I'm surprised they didn't play anything off Another World, which is their latest release.
Yeah, see, they're still releasing albums too and everything.
Another World is great because, I mean, to me, the lead-off song is called "Here the Summer Looks Good on You," and that would have been a perfect song to play at Memorial Day weekend. I mean, if that was me, I would have stuck that in the set.
Well, when I saw and I met Duran Duran, which is a funny story.
I love Duran.
But when they came out, this is at the casino. They come out and they go, "Oh, we're going to play a lot of songs from a new album, Master." Oh, don't worry, we're going to play the old stuff too.
Yeah, I have a couple. There's a 7 and the Ragged Tiger. That's good album, and I got the live one, Arena, something or other.
And they were real. I think Andy Taylor then wasn't with them. I think he wasn't there, but otherwise it was them.
I'll tell you, I searched far and wide and finally got a copy of that damn Power Station album.
Oh, I have it on cassette though.
I love that album so much. I mean, it's way overproduced, but it's a cool sounding production.
Well, one of my favorite drummers is Tony
awesome.
Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
The almost drummer for Led Zeppelin 2 there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what had happened was, and it's another one of those stories.
I know nothing today, folks, so I'm going to let him educate me.
This is normal for us. But actually, I have a guitar magazine where Jimmy Page talks about Led Zeppelin 2 when they were going to record. And the whole story, the latest Zeppelin books have it. Like around 1984, they got together with Tony Thompson.
Okay.
And they were going to, and it turned out like it was like cursed. Like Page got into a car accident.
Right.
And they said that it was it was almost like more like a funk sound.
Didn't he have something to do with... I'm thinking of Chester Thompson. Never mind.
No, but I guess they just decided they just couldn't do it. They just it didn't mesh or whatever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get like a member in a band, like Bonham, and you just can't replace them. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised, though. I mean, they could have probably gone on, but he was a big part of the sound.
A lot of it, too, is if you read those last, 68 to 75 or, the golden years, then all of a sudden all these tragedies happened to Plant and everything.
Right.
So he was actually at the point, he wasn't going to leave, and Bonham was talking about he wanted the next album after In Through the Outdoor to be really, really heavy. But, for him it was sort of a relief.
Yeah.
Because those weren't happy years, those last, half of the decade.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about Into the Outdoor. I never...
it's a mix. It's got a good mix of different songs.
I thought they ran out of gas on that one. But
well, if you listen to Coda, they ran out of more gas.
Well, see, now I like that record.
But I
like outtakes and weird songs like that.
Too.
Poor Tom, that's a cool song.
But also, too, Page says his favorite album's Presence.
Yeah. I have that. That's good. I have that on cassette.
I always laugh about that, though, too. That was one of the least best-selling albums. Only sold 7 or 8 million copies. The horror of that. Everything.
What is that obelisk? What is it?
Could you imagine, though? Could you imagine, you go, with their 07 show, there were, 24 million requests for tickets.
Yeah, right. Oh, wow.
It's, insane.
I saw where Billy Joel is kicking major ass at Madison Square Garden. They just keep having them and having them.
That's what I guess one of my friends went to one, and he says what happens is they don't sell out ASAP, but they sell out.
Yeah.
And he's just going to keep playing them as long as they do. He says it's a really good show.
I think it's great. He's close to home, Hey, why not?
It'd be like those Vegas residencies, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Just play every 6 weeks or whatever.
I found a really good VHS. Yes, folks, I still buy them. Billy Joel at Yankee Stadium, and incredible performance. I mean, good recording, nicely done. Very good, very good.
Did you ever get anything on Laserdisc?
No.
I had a friend at the comic book store. He used to get them. He would say, and I love finding lost things for VHS, if we found tapes. He would say if you went into certain stores way in the back, you would find Laserdisc tapes.
Oh wow!
He says, I don't. What do they use? I never had one of those.
No, me either. I found some good buys though. I remember when we used to play in down the Southern Tier, we Dansville and a couple, and they used to have these little shops. Secondhand bookstore type, and they used to have old VHS and different things. And I found this cereal called the Masked Marvel. It's a Republic cereal, and it's a pretty cool serial because you don't hear about that one too much. And then I found like the Dick Tracy things, which got me going onto that, and it's great to find those things.
I love that's like still even like everything now people just wanted now like you want to call somebody, text them,
Right?
You want something to go like Amazon, click.
Right.
But the old idea of the hunt was always such fun. It was always just go around.
I know.
Especially when something really like book sales, anything. When something would just pop up. I found like at one book sale they had a W.C. Fields for President book.
Oh, wow.
Which is awesome.
I have an album. I'm not sure where I got it. It's Mae West and W.C. Fields, and they're both doing like their monologues, jokes and stuff, and it's on vinyl.
The weird part
is it's pretty cool.
They hated each other, and like, and if you watch the movie, you could see they're like almost. They're really when they're doing their lines, they're not in the scene because they hated each other so much.
Oh wow!
And I remember like Fields with his usual snarkiness called her a plumber's dream girl. Whatever else. He's great though.
Yeah, he must have been a piece of work.
He's just like really great.
Speaking of that era, did I bring this up last time that the remake of Perry Mason, that HBO?
A little boy, I think we got cut off at the end.
Oh man, that is such a cool. I mean, I don't like reimaginings a lot of times, but this one it's very interesting because he's kind of like it starts out. He's kind of like this low life kind of detective bum guy, and I forget if he meets Della Street or somebody helps, but they say, well, study up. Why don't you just go and be, they're going to give the bar in a couple of weeks. So he just kind of, back then, I guess you didn't have to go to school. You just studied up and he took the exam and he got to be a lawyer. But Della Street in this one is an aspiring lawyer. She's in a law school and she's a lesbian. So they got that going on. And it's in the 30s, so it's kind of in the middle of the Depression. And there is a Fatty Arbuckle reference. I think we did mention that. And there's this guy, he's having trouble with, there's a domestic disturbance. They go there, they take his shoes or something, and he comes running out of the house. And you can tell he's a big fat guy. So I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Fatty Arbuckle.
That's what I liked, like in Legends of Tomorrow, like the one season that they went back and they met Ishiro Honda.
Oh, wow.
I love like some of those like little trick like wrap around in circles where it turns out they travel back in time and they come up with something.
Right.
Because they come back, there's like the villains are back in the like 50s, and he's got this idea for like a giant octopus.
Right.
And he gets the idea from them about a giant lizard. It's like a Back to the Future with Chuck Berry.
Right. Yeah.
Which is like kind of cool and everything. Who knows? I don't know. They always say like if time travel's real, though, where are they all?
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, and then that brings us to the Flash movie. So, my God, I read these things on Google. The movie hasn't even come out yet, and it's just like, oh, it's good, it's terrible. Ezra Miller's a freaking nut job. I mean, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the truth is.
It's getting to the point now.
What is the truth?
I think a lot of times people just want to dislike, though.
I know.
Like Indiana Jones is horrible. Who's seen it?
I know.
And everything. This is horrible. Nobody's seen the movie yet. We don't even know.
The word troll comes to mind. But, and it's like my girlfriend's son. He's 25.
Yeah, happy birthday, too.
Oh, yes. Happy birthday, Cody. And many more. Get a job. Damn it. Okay. That being said.
Do a podcast. You'll never have to work again.
That's right. You can be invisible. Nobody will bother you. You're in a nice padded room.
You know what? I never thought about that. That's perfect for us. You think about it. It's like the perfect setting for us. One day we'll go, the door won't open.
You can't hurt yourself unless you bang on the microphone. But and I read these things. Of course, I didn't know Ezra Miller was doing all this weird stuff in Hawaii.
I heard he's like a sicko. Like, wasn't he like a... Because now they got the guy who played Kang, too, supposedly did stuff. John, whatever.
Kang?
Kang and Kang the Conqueror in the Avengers movie. They played in Creed 3.
Okay.
And then you don't. I mean, that's the thing too. You don't know these days.
A lot of these guys got issues.
There's so many rumors though too.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. You hear like one thing or another. But Ezra Mills sounds like a what is he, a pervert or a sicko or something?
Right. Well, to bring me, that's why I got off track. So
it's the Carnival.
No, so Cody, I asked him. Oh, I forget which movie it was.
Was it a DC movie?
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't hear good things about it." And it's like, okay, why don't you watch it?
Black Adam, maybe.
Black Adam.
That could be because
it might have been because I thought Black Adam was okay. I don't get the.
It was standard, you know. It was by the book, but it was entertaining. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't, you know, the greatest ever.
But just that whole reasoning. Well, I didn't hear good. Well, I don't want to. You know, if somebody tells you. You know, the world is, you know, flat or whatever, you're going to just believe it? I mean, go see it, make your own opinion, or make your own judgment. You know, I just don't understand.
My friend Marissa and I, we went to see Aquaman, and it was cool going with her because she does sort of design, and she would explain, like, the effects.
Yeah.
But she said it perfectly. So she said for Aquaman, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, it's not the best movie I've ever seen.
Right. I liked it.
And I liked it, too. And the effects I thought were kind of neat, actually.
Oh, yeah,
the
with
water effects and
the hair
everything.
waving and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, even if you go back and watch those Fleischer cartoons of Superman, there's a scene in there where he's in the water, and they have that going on. They have his hair waving around. I mean, they took so much attention to detail with shadows and.
That's the big thing for me.
Like,
shadows, just from like knowing a little bit about comic books, is you got to get the shadows right.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Well, they did. They even went so far as when he was moving across the room, the shadow would get larger and smaller. You know, like it would in reality.
And you get like Rob Liefeld with like he called it the in joke he called the studio homage studios because they would just steal stuff.
Right.
But you look at the art and they'd be like out of proportion, but they'd always have like a body part blocked by a building, so they didn't have to draw it or anything.
Yeah.
There's of course something somebody said about the Jim Shooter Marvel years about how good they were. That Shooter made sure the work was done.
Right.
Like you were out monthly, like you had a fill-in.
Yeah, he was good. He wrote a lot of the Superboy syndicated.
Legion of Superheroes too, I think.
Yeah, but remember this syndicated Superboy show?
Oh,
he wrote a bunch of those.
Did they have did they replace the lead like after a year?
Yeah.
You know the one that sticks out to me from that one is the Metallo episode.
Yeah, that was good.
That's the one that always sticks. Because I always wonder, like in the old days, you didn't have the effects, so you really couldn't have the good Superman.
Yeah.
or whatever else.
Well, from the second season on, the effects got better. The flying things got better. That Gerard Christopher was very good.
But I wonder, like, again, like, you know, and I've never wondered this one about the Adventures of Superman. Why didn't they have Luthor?
I don't know. They had him in the serial.
You know, and I wonder if they just said, if the comic book just said, let's not have him in there or something. Because you wonder how much influence. You know, they never had, like, a main antagonist running through it. It was usually gangsters. Always with that same guy.
Yeah.
Goon.
Well, you know, because, I mean, again, that mirrored the radio show because it was Robert Maxwell and Bernard Luber, I guess. But Robert Maxwell was the producer of the radio show, so he brought that crime noir, film noir-ish thing to the television show. And, you know, it was 1950. So,
how was that? You had a grand adventure. You were at the outlet mall.
Oh, man. So they have this store there. I mean, besides the clothes stores, which I bought a couple of things.
A lot of people went there for the silver, too, like the kitchen sets.
Oh, really?
They had the steel or the silver.
Did
it smell like cow patties, though, still over there? Last times I've been there.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it always smells like cow patties. You know why you were
here?
Oh,
yeah.
This is like the beginning of June. Like, if you're there in the summer, it smells like cow floss.
I think there was one road we were on. Yeah, there was a little bit of manure going on. But they have this one store. It's a snack store. And it's like a Snacks of the World-ish kind of... But they have the weirdest crap I've ever seen. I bought Lay's double bacon cheeseburger chips. They have weird chips, man. They have stuff like lamb, curried lamb, and something, and you know, steak, and just anything you can imagine. And all the writing and everything in the back is all, Japanese because what it is, it's Frito-Lay's overseas deal.
I've looked up some of those.
And
some of those
it's
are
cool
absolutely. Because, it's weird. Japan's, an awesome country and all this, but, how KFC became the go-to dish for Christmas there.
Right. Yeah, it's weird how they'll take something and in the process of taking it in and copying it or whatever, they add some unique weird thing that makes it totally theirs.
They always had, cool. They always were big about, if you went to a movie and you taped it, videoed it, they encouraged it because they wanted to prove their technology and how they could prove it.
Yeah, makes
sense.
But
my friend Julia Weatherholt, she was in Japan for a month recently, and she said, she gained so much weight from 7-Eleven sushi. I would not go to that 7-Eleven on Monroe Avenue and eat sushi out of that place.
Rah, sushi. No.
Remember that Quitters song, Midnight at the 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
I bet that's probably based on that one.
Could be.
Because those are the old days, some of those characters in there.
7-Elevens used to be pretty skeevy.
Yeah, did you ever get the cups, though? I always used to get, the superhero cups and everything from there.
I don't know.
There's one on Buffalo Road I used to get them from all the time.
I've got a couple of these giant thermal coffee cups. I don't have the lids, but man, these cups are the best. They're 32-ounce coffee cups.
Yeah, but then all those, I have those collected, Hot Stuff, Casper.
I have some tumblers.
They're all freaking lead, though. You have the display purpose only. You want to drink on them. Imagine what we grew up with, all the poisons and stuff. That's why we're still around today. My dad, I know my dad liked to smell when I was a kid of turpentine.
Oh, really?
Because he used to use turpentine, for painting a lot and everything.
Oh, right. Now, drinking Pine Sol.
Or my grandmother cooking with lard all the time. I love those old cookbooks where all it is
lard.
Put a pound of lard, just cook a pound of bacon grease.
So, remember the line from the Michael Keaton Batman movie? And what are they seeing up there? They're drinking Drano. I love that.
I love, too, how he's one of the most loved Batmen when everybody thought it was a joke when he was going to... And he thought it was a joke. He thought when Burton got a hold of him, he wanted him to play the Joker.
Yeah.
And I actually saw that movie 8 times at the theater when it came out. Because I was the comic book guy, so all my friends wanted me to see it.
Yeah. I thought it was great, too. I didn't think he was going to be a fit, too, but then I was proven wrong, so.
Well, it was they played it up where you had to show the dichotomy, you would think, okay, if you were just pretend we were in Gotham, we believe Batman exists, and you were trying to be logical. You figure he had to have a lot of money,
right?
It's got to be loaded,
and he can't be this big brutish guy, because it just wouldn't have worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's probably not worked. That's why he donned the costume and everything, so he could scare people. But you figure the guy, okay, maybe the Punisher, he was taking money off crooks, but he had to be loaded. You figure, okay, maybe he had to go through something to become like this. So you look at the archives of Gotham, find out about Bruce Wayne's parents.
Right.
But you also think, some of those, actually Gotham Knights, which I really love.
That's very cool, yeah.
But, the idea, if you lived in Gotham, he's almost like an urban myth to you, if he's really real.
Yeah. Have you seen Gotham Gaslight?
Gotham Gaslight.
Really good.
I love those Elseworlds. Those are all really fun.
Yeah.
But I wonder now if it's going to be we're not going to review this if we go see The Flash. We'll review it, but you wonder what they're going to do, is it going to be a cameo by Keaton and Affleck, or they're going to have a big part of the story?
I think he bumps into them.
Into it.
I think he bumps into them on his way through the different time periods. And then I saw one clip where it looks like Keaton and him get together and try to team up to do something. But I'm not sure.
I wonder what kind of villains they're going to have, too, because they actually had Kronos is finally on the Flash series after all these years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really liked that show when they had Reverse Flash and Mirror Master.
Did you see the last season yet?
No.
Meh.
No.
It's what I think a lot of series, they chicken out on the finale. Instead of doing something really good, they make it just sort of lame.
Yeah, I read an interesting thing on, I was just doing some Google things and, 10 best actors that played Superman or 10 worst, whatever. Well, this was one about the 10 worst finales. There was, of course, the Seinfeld last episode, and they just listed a lot of different shows where they, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They just, you know, where they just, the last episode was just totally like deflating. Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's better if they just cancel the show, because most of
Yeah.
the best one ever might have been the Newhart one.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What happens is, spoiler, but it's been decades. He's in the hotel. They end the show. They're sleeping. He wakes up. He's back in his 70s show.
Oh, right.
And his wife's like, "What's going on?"
Oh,
I had the weirdest dream.
I dreamed it. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was very clever.
But, like, my mom was a huge Magnum P.I. fan.
Right.
That finale sucked.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see
And they
that.
never revealed who Robin Masters was.
Oh.
Which was, like, the big thing for, the big mystery.
Yeah, they drop the loose ends a lot. They drop a lot of threads.
Because you thought, like, John Hilliman's character might have been him. And they played up that he actually really is. But then at the end he said he's not and everything.
Oh, wow. So he's like a secret.
They never show who he is. Like, he's the guy that...
Well, we never found out who Charlie was either
No,
Charlie's Angels. So.
No, they showed him. I know what was it? John Forsythe's voice?
With the voice, yeah. But we never saw him.
You know what? I haven't watched it in decades, but at Ollie's, I got the first season for like $1.99.
Oh, wow.
So I think the Ollie's, like, by Jefferson's better now. They don't really have as much, but if you want to dig through, like, some really cool comics, go to Ollie's, especially when they have a discount.
Yeah, I saw some of the graphic novels there that were pretty good. I just got one, I've been reading a bunch of these other ones. I found one at Borders a couple of years back. It's a pretty big size coffee table, but it's Batman the War Years, so it's all stories from the 40s, and it's really good.
One of my, like, wish lists is those Batman Silver Age comic strips.
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
like, it's mucho bucks. But the other thing was, I got one volume out of the library. Now the complete set's like this.
Oh, wow.
But the thing is, like, trying to read it was tough just because the book's so big.
I got a couple of those. I bought those at Borders. I bought the Superman dailies, and I think I got a Batman dailies, too. They're long.
It's actually a weird thing, like, we haven't talked about as much. Like, you've always been more into DC than Marvel, or are you, like, sort of a mix? Like, what really was sort of, like, your first comic that ever got you into it?
Oh, yeah, Superman, probably. I think, because I had a subscription when I was like.
You know what I have? You could have it. I have two of them. I actually have. It's been used, so it's clean. I think it's Superman peanut butter.
Oh, sweet! Yeah, that would be great. I got a Superman that's like a tin. It's kind of supposed to look like a phone booth type of thing, but it's got a key and you can put stuff in it, and it's pretty interesting.
I guarantee. I know, like, there was this guy at Empire Comics. He looked like Thor, he did, but he would come in every 3 or 4 months, and he would buy like $1,000 of the models.
Wow.
That's what he would do. He'd just grab them. But I remember, like, the City of Candor and Kryptonite, they were awesome.
Wow.
But I wonder if they ever had, I'm sure we could, I'm not going to look it up.
They had the Aurora models. I had a couple of those. They had a Superman and Batman.
Awesome. Yeah. There's like the best, but I wonder if they had like a Fortress of Solitude toy. I guarantee they did.
I'm sure there is one somewhere.
They had Kojak games.
Wow, yeah.
Sometimes I just like to Google like online. I actually got spammed almost. I got one of the spam scams recently.
I'll have to show you. I'll have to take a picture of it. My girlfriend's mom gave me. I don't know. I found it in the. I don't know. I think I was rummaging around because I do that. I look through people's stuff.
Yeah, but did she ever find the suit?
You know,
she ever go through your stuff and find the Superman suit?
No, my secret's safe.
We got like,
No, but I found this. Wait a minute. I found this. Will you let me
I don't want to
finish?
know. I don't want to know me.
She had this plate, like a dinner plate, of Hopalong Cassidy. Oh. And it's really cool, and it's pretty old, I'm pretty sure. But it was cracked. So I found some ceramic glue, and I was able to glue it really good. I mean, there's just a really tiny, tiny line going through it. But, man, it's cool. He's sitting on the horse, and it's like it's a drawing, printed on. It's cool.
My dad was a big fan of his.
I'll tell you, man.
I like the Cisco Kid. I used to watch the Cisco Kid. Pancho y Cisco! Duncan Ronaldo!
Pancho with his slaughtered English.
Yeah. See, all that stuff was a good fun, though.
Where we went now.
Yeah. No, let's went. Let's went was so. That's one thing I've always missed about the comic book store was like we had like some lovable eccentrics coming in there. There was this one kid. He came and we nicknamed him Stephen Hawkins because the guy was like I guess like one of those computer nerds. He hacked through like a video game to another one, but he had this weird Spider-Man obsession. So all he would buy was Spider-Man.
Right.
But what he would do was he would come in. You could see like he would wear the suit under his clothes.
Oh man.
So he would come in. And I guess like he's not like the old, what you would hear like in a movie, he like lived in his mom's basement.
Right.
But he comes in and like we go around and he'd like get really close to you like when he talked to you. But like one of my friends like watching me like this, I go, he's wearing it today. He's wearing it.
Yeah.
And look, he's got like this Spider-Man.
That always made me wonder. Didn't all these superheroes sweat a lot wearing 2 sets of clothes all the time? It had to be kind of...
It was like weird too. Like I used to like for like sometimes like for gym class or like in school, if I went to a concert, I'd wear the shirt underneath my you could see it.
Right.
So it was like you have to wear dark shirts all the time.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's just I'm going to a party afterwards.
Well, this whole thing. But no, I heard Into the Spider-Verse. I guess they saw the second one the other day, and he told me it was really good. So I gotta go hunt up the first one.
First one's really good. Though Peter Porker, the Spider-Ham, rules all. Now I heard my good friend Mike, he saw it. And you hear about like those Apple Cinemas now? He's like a manager at one. You get to like they serve you dinner.
I've never heard of that.
I guess it's a new. They were playing called Apple Cinemas. I guess like there's a whole dining experience and everything there. It's getting to the point where what are you going to do? Go to movies and like they bring you a menu and you sit.
Are there physical buildings?
There's one in Pittsford Plaza. Huh. There's a whole. They're taking over like where where the Regals passed out.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't go to movies that much anymore. I'm like become one of those.
I used to, but yeah, they go a lot.
I live like right. I could walk to the theater across the street.
Last one I saw was Dungeons and Dragons, which was.
I heard it was really good.
It was pretty good. It was good.
I love that too. Like what a movie that actually a good example of that would be like you look and go, this has got RoboCop, where it just looked like, come on,
right.
But it was really good.
I give it 2 fangs up.
But now drifting, now unfortunately, getting older is depressing because people are dying, but just a salute to my friend Lon who passed away on
rest in peace, Lon. That was a shock to me. I just heard about it.
He had been, like, when I started working at the Crown, you know how bars are, they have their cliques.
Right.
Some regulars think they own the place. He took me aside, made me feel welcome, would ask me to come out. Maybe wanted to be nice to the guy who did the doors.
And I was always really got along good with it. Anytime I played there, man, he was fun to talk to.
That floor was like sometimes those early days. Because remember, I can tell the story now because it's changed owners different. But I still remember, like, I used to love like working like the weekends. I would clean it and get like good money for like cleaning. Yeah. But like I'm going. It's okay. They changed owners. You can't do anything about it. I'm in the kitchen and sweeping and I look up. I'm like, nah, no.
Where was this?
In the kitchen at the Crown.
Oh,
the old Crown.
Yeah.
It's gone now. Different owners.
Yeah.
It's been dealt with, so there's no legal issue.
Is that back when it was the Big G?
Yeah. You go back. I look up. Nah, keep cleaning. I look up. What the hell? It's like a rat piece of fish.
Yikes.
So I named it after the owner. But yeah, he would my friend Brian said that too. He came in from Florida. He almost said the same exact thing for me. Nobody, people were sort of, like I said, people have their cliques, whatever else. You're a new person. Yeah. He would always say, hey, you want to go out? You want to hang out? And like, he would introduce me.
Right.
And in terms, he played for Sulaco and probably his Rochester. He must have played for other bands.
Yeah.
And he played, if it's your thing, it's like that death metal where he's like the typical guy you would imagine if you didn't know him. The dude in shorts playing bass with a beard. Who screams into the mic every now and then.
Yeah.
And if you like that kind of stuff, the stuff's pretty good. It's not really my type of music.
The black shirt, the shorts, and the hikers.
Yeah,
the hiker shoes.
No, but it's like I always say, and it's like sappy. It's like I appreciate Greg even if I make fun of him.
Yep.
You never know. Like these days, and I know this myself from a couple of years ago, so it's sappy, but I always try to tell friends I appreciate him, because, like, I saw him maybe less than a month ago at Archive. We said hi. You never know it's the last time.
Yeah.
And he was fine.
I know. I was just there a few weeks ago.
That was like my graveyard humor where I said, like, when I died, you know, some days I felt lousy. That day I felt perfectly fine.
Just throw records on me.
So don't worry, like, if you feel lousy, but if you feel fine, it's like watch the old Richard Belzer joke.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, like the mosquitoes, like the mosquitoes that are really bad for you, they buzz around, so they're not really bad for you, they buzz around.
Yeah.
But the ones that are bad for you, they don't. So if they're buzzing around, don't worry. But if you hear nothing.
Good one.
You hear nothing.
That's like, I see a lot of these streaming ads are pharmaceutical companies, right? Ozempic
those
and a bunch
Woody ads. So it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. But there's this one ad, I forget which drug it's for, but they list all these side effects. And then, of course, you're thinking, well, if it could do all these things, why in God's name would you even bother taking it? But they go down the list, and, diarrhea, rash, problem swallowing, and feeling unwell. What the hell is feeling unwell?
I've seen ones that have said side effect is death.
Yeah.
But one of my friends is like, we all have that weird gallows humor.
I stopped taking it then.
He took some kind of blood pressure medicine. His blood pressure had to be like, bad. But he took this stuff, and he said, but he would go, like, afterwards, you wouldn't want to be around him because of his moods.
Yeah,
but he said, like, you would go out, and he said, like, one drug he took, and then, one of my friends, he took, like, diabetes stuff, blood pressure stuff. He was glad to get the blood pressure stuff, because he said whatever diabetes medicine he took, it would give you, like, diarrhea. He said,
man.
If you feel a twinge, no matter where you are, run. But then, he had, like, the perfect meld. He had diabetes medicine that gave you diarrhea. Then he had blood pressure medicine that gave you constipation. So it was, like, a perfect mix. Like, but I see these, like, vertigo ones, anti-vertigo ones cause dizziness.
Oh, Jesus.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I just laugh at the term unwell. I mean, that could just about mean anything.
After listening to the show, you feel unwell.
Well, the people that run the show are unwell.
That's an actually interesting thing. Like, it's sort of how long you played. Like, my brother's band, New Math, they're releasing an 11... Hopefully we'll have, like, Roy and Gary on in the month ahead.
That would be cool. That would be great.
Roy's very up for it. I know Gary likes to talk. My brother doesn't, so I'm not going to bother.
And Roy's a good guy. We've had some nice chats.
And Roy's never stopped playing. He's like you.
Yeah.
He never stopped playing. And I get this. It's horrible how, like, I can't remember yesterday, but I remember when he came over my house, like 1980, and he looked through. I had like a magazine. I got it worldwide for the Stones show at Buffalo from 1980. He's looking through it.
Wow.
And now it's like, but isn't it weird? Now they're releasing. You could pre-order it. 11 songs from the old days, like "Die Trying," "Can't Get Off the Ground," "Angela."
Wow.
And they're going to play some shows this summer.
Cool.
And how does that feel though? It's kind of, in a way, for me, it's like surreal. I guess when you get older, too, and all these past years, the passage of time, where I'm just thinking, that's like over 40 years ago.
I know.
What were you doing? Like, what were you playing like 40 years ago? What would you say you were doing?
Oh, my God. What year?
Make it up if nobody knows.
What year was that?
I know. It's like I hate
2020.
I hate those memes now, where it's like, oh, you saw this movie. Oh, this was 40. World War II was closer than this movie. 1982, 1983.
1982 and 3. I was traveling around. That's when I was in, like, show bands and stuff.
Because they're one of the rare bands that changed their names. It's the same band, but they became Jet Black Berries, and I always wondered about that. And I asked my brother about it, and they sort of started off as like Eddie and the Hot Rods. And actually, if you read Greg Prevo's book, he's got like some nice parts about meeting Gary and how they helped the Kings get started.
Oh yeah.
And on his album, I didn't realize it's like nobody ever told me this stuff.
Huh. Gary who?
Gary Trainer.
Okay, I don't know.
Why do I shoot off names like people know him?
Him I don't know. I know Roy.
But it's like just strange. But they started off like more like an Eddie in the Hot Rods.
Okay.
And I know Mike Murray said he went to see the Chesterfield Kings. they were opening for New Math. He saw New Math. He always says it changed my life. He ran down.
Wow.
But they were more like Eddie and the Hot Rods, that type of punk. And then they turned to Jet Black Berries. And how many bands do this when they change their sort of style? They became more like, people call them like...
I like them.
Yeah, but I don't... psychobilly, no. I think they're more psychedelic.
Yeah.
But they became more like psychedelic, more like organ oriented.
I thought they were good, man. That guy they had up front, John, something or other.
Kevin Patrick. John, you mean Johnny Cummings on
yeah.
the poster.
That was a good
Kevin's
version
one of those
that
guys. They're all friends. But you ever get people, and Greg Prevost is like this too a little bit, where they just don't want to do reunion stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have any animosity. But for any reason, it's like, this happened, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I guess I understand that, but I don't have any situations in my particular life. Well, it's the only one I have at the moment. But there's nobody I wouldn't want to get together with for any reason. I don't have any problems playing with anybody.
You're not like you never were in Deep Purple, I take it.
No.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, I'm sure there's memories that can be painful, but if people change and they're not going to drink anymore or do whatever
I've got like Ian Gillan's book sitting on my shelf. I found a copy of it.
Oh, nice.
You could borrow it if you want.
I would love to.
But the problem is, like, I'm laughing too hard though because I figure, fit it up. Chapter 1. When I came out of me mom's womb, me mom said, your first words were Richie Blackmore is a...
Oh, gosh.
Chapter 2, Richie Blackmore's... Chapter 3, Richie Blackmore's...
Yeah, I can imagine. I've heard a lot of things.
I actually read a Sabbath, Mick Wall's Sabbath book. I could see why they didn't get along at all, because I guess, like, Richie's Richie. Ian was, like, a big prankster.
Oh, yeah?
And I can't imagine, like, those two personalities, like, meshing.
Right.
Like, he's one of those guys, like, he would drive, like, your car into a pool. I don't think he'd be doing that with Richie.
No. But see, I've always wondered about that, too. Well, I'm moody, and I'm this and that. It's like, why do people want to hide behind these weird things? Just say you're weird, okay?
Number one,
your personality is sucky.
I always go by, unless you met somebody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But what I've, like, in my own research about Blackmore... Part of it they say is like an image. He likes to make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But he's really, really serious about music. And like he hates people that come up to him and say, oh, you're the greatest, or I love it.
Right, right.
But if you came up and like you actually talked about music, you might end up talking to him.
Right.
Because that's what he really likes.
I'm finding more and more, like, for myself, like yesterday at the House of Guitars thing, people were walking up to me. A few people I hadn't seen in a long time, and so I said, hey. But, man, people are just talking to me, and, like, who is this?
It's
weird.
It happens too much to me a lot, where I'll try to fake my way through, because I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I'm walking, I'm by the library, and I went for a little walk. I go down there, somebody's in a car coming out of the street, and they say hi to me, and they know me. And gladly, there's a car behind him, and he had to go. I had no idea. This is like when I was at Java's. Some guy's waving at me and saying he looked sort of familiar, but I have no idea who he was.
Yeah, I forget names sometimes, but I remember I know certain people, but apparently this one guy is a drummer, and he subbed for me a couple times with Anonymous Willpower, but I didn't know his name, so.
That's like the House of Guitars was responsible for me cutting class more than any other place.
Yeah.
Go. Especially when I got my license, I would just like duck out, drive down to the Hog, and go buy stuff and everything.
Yeah, I went in there yesterday before our set, and I went upstairs and I looked around. Bruce was good to me as always. He let me have a couple little parts.
They're always awesome whenever they see me. We always have like long conversations.
Yeah. I said, I'm playing later. He said, thank you. I'm like, okay.
There's one he was talking to me about, and my friend Rob, you met Rob Mount, because Rob's like a collector of all.
Right.
Like, there was one where I was talking about when Ozzy appeared there with Motley Crue, and I remember like anybody who tried to go, the line was just absolutely forget. And then think about Motley Crue then Ozzy. So you got these huge lines.
Yeah.
But Bruce, they had Ozzy did something like Ozzy does. They had some kind of import album they banned here because he must have been like a naughty picture. But he got a bunch of them in. Now, Rob Mouse never even heard of that one.
Huh. I'm not familiar with it.
I am not either, but I just said next time I go down there, I'll ask him about it.
Yeah.
But I love, like, some of the history and stuff. We should get him on the Carnival.
Yeah. Speaking of weird albums or different, I found one on Amazon, and I thought, well, this sounds kind of interesting. It was a Grand Funk Railroad vinyl, but it was all, like, different live cuts. So what they did was somebody licensed probably all this. And so there's a couple on there from when they were on In Concert, the ABC In Concert show. So there's two songs from that, a couple from this show, and a couple from that show. And, so it's very interesting. And I thought it was, and it's like a couple with the organ player. And
this is,
it's very neat.
We're both big music files, obviously. That's a freaking audio files.
Yeah.
Idiots. Centrics, but I actually educated Greg for once on a great musician.
Yes.
I can't believe he never knew about.
Barron?
That's what I love about music, though, because there's stuff that falls through the cracks that I have never heard of, and I actually got him with one.
Yeah, that was great. What, Barron's Whitfield?
Yeah.
It's great stuff. Just like sort of a mix of psycho country and surf, and it's very
I'll be
interesting.
more concise and loquacious. He's Little Richard on speed.
Yeah, more
I
or
heard
less.
Tom Cohen told me a story. He was screaming so loud one time he broke his glasses on stage.
Wow. From screaming? Or they just
Like
broke?
yelling, he broke them.
Oh my God. Like wine glass.
He is. He's like, if you ever meet him, too, he's like a ball of energy. I always say he's the one guy, if you go to one of his shows, you're tired from watching him.
Right. How does he do it?
No, and he's like in his 60s, too.
Wow. Hey, watch it.
No, I was like, say, it's a bug over here or something. No, but I mean, yeah, you're doing a lot of work, but you jump around like
you'd
be trying.
Frontmen, I don't know. Frontmen have a big job, and people think, oh, they just stand there and sing. Well, not really.
Alan Bluntstone does, but he does it the right way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great.
But I actually I found the Stones' final concert from last year's tour from Germany. You can find it.
Oh, yeah?
And I wanted to watch it. They were good. They're solid. But I wanted to see what Mick did, because Mick's like 79. It'll be like 80.
Right.
She's like 80.
Wow.
But I wanted to see what he did on stage. And he wears like a sort of a lame jacket. He's not trying to look like Marlene Dietrich.
Right.
He knows he's a little. Keith looks like a guy on your bowling team.
Yeah, right.
No, the rebel Keith Richards with his wife. But he goes. But he's doing like he's dancing around and doing stuff.
I'd like to see him with Steve Jordan. I haven't heard anything with Steve Jordan yet.
Well, I know he used to play. He played on a lot of Keith's expensive winos and
right.
solo stuff. Because I think what they're doing when they have to replace somebody, they're sort of doing it in house where they know somebody. Because I mean, he has played with Keith, but I still love that El Macambo thing. Still, I keep repeating on this show.
I know. I saw that. I was thinking about getting it, but.
I can give it to you.
Okay. I'd love to borrow it.
I think they have enough money. This isn't an admission. But the introduction's great when he's introducing the band. I said this many times because it's a favorite line, where it's like he gets to Charlie. He's like, hey, Charlie Watts on drums him.
Yeah.
Charlie's a jazz drummer. He doesn't want to do this. He's doing it for the money. But I have Watts on Scott. It's Scott's, Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club.
Oh, yeah?
It depends. I mean, if you're into jazz or not. Like, some people...
I have the Jeff Beck one from Ronnie Scott's. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie Scott's is one of those places I'd love to go.
Yeah.
And I think jazz lives, you got to experience it like that way.
Somebody gave me a bunch of those that they burned, like the Beatles rooftop concert and the Ronnie Scott with Jeff Beck and some other jazz stuff, like really good jazz stuff.
Did you see Get Back?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
That was great.
See, my view of, like, if you...
I think it was very realistic.
Is that Willie again?
Hey, Willie.
No, he's not here today.
See if he's out by the dumpster.
He's at the liquor store. I'll go get him.
Okay. Willie's awesome. We got to have him. Oh, by the way, if you haven't picked it up, that Soul Rash album's awesome.
It is very good. Yep. I like it.
You get a living legend Willie on there who knows everybody.
That's right.
But the thing from Get Back, like, if you watch that... It's surprising. You know what's going to happen.
Right.
But it's almost surprising they break up.
Yeah. But it's cool to watch their evolution with songs and how they're kind of just groping in the dark for a while. Well, here, I got a couple ideas. No, but what I liked about it, it's just like every time I watch it, like Paul's playing something and he's yelling chords to the other guys, and I'm just like, wow, just like we do it. You know.
Like we had that rooftop concert with Litvak on this show.
Yeah.
I think Greg said he's been featured on the Rumble.
That's right.
We think. I
think so.
I can confirm that.
Yeah.
I can confirm that. But
thank you for whoever played some song that I played on.
It probably was him. But it was really cool. And the thing was like George quits and Ringo saying, remember what Ringo said? We've been grumpy for the last 18 months.
Yeah. But Ringo has a great sense of humor. He's on there dancing and goofing around. And I also like the drum set he used on that thing with the double toms and all that.
See, I love
very different. Hi. How was it?
What?
Everything okay?
Not really.
Oh.
In case anybody's not
looking at you guys.
Not known, our engineer producer Andy Calabrese is.
We get people wandering in from we had a regatta last week. They took us out
he's recovering from a shoulder wound. Gotta stay away from those drive-bys, dude.
Keep him behind the curtain. Keep him behind the curtain. Yeah, you're gonna challenge him to a push-up contest after we're done. That was like one of the worst jokes ever in high school. Used to play on underclassmen where there's this big guy.
The one-arm boxing competition.
Big guy, Mike Hay. This guy, he was a sweetheart. But imagine a huge Andre the wrestler.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, but he could put it on. So he was in on the joke. We go up to an underclassman and go, hey, go ask how many push-ups his dad could do. He's really proud of his dad's fitness. So he'd go up to him and ask when Mike would get all red-faced and bang his locker. Go, you son of a bitch, my dad doesn't have any arms.
Yeah, right.
We had these kids turning white.
They pulled that one on me in high school.
That's always the one thing we did, though, like that. I always think back, we never did anything cruel and we had fun. We never, there's nothing I can look back on and go, I'm really embarrassed we did it or anything.
It was un-PC.
No,
sure.
I mean, I just think of people now, the names we were called.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I think it makes you in a way tougher in a way because you're so used to being humiliated.
I just say bring back metal dashboards and be done with it, okay?
Yeah, that would be cool and everything. That would be really cool. I don't know, but what do you like? What phase now are you sort of are you heading toward any different phase what you're listening to besides
No, just I've mentioned some of that reissue stuff that I've been getting. I've been digging into those. And some jazz. I played the David Bowie Heroes album the other day. It was pretty good. The song we're going to play later here, Mighty High and Dry, I went to their show.
Which I would have gone
good.
to, but it was unfortunately, I told Kyle that Lon had passed the day before, and I just couldn't bring myself to go into archive.
Right. I'm trying hard to listen to different stuff.
There's a thing, I always say, if you're going to go out, you're going to see me, it's got to be fun.
Yep.
Not going there looking around where's my, this is
I got there and they made an announcement and I was just I was in shock sitting there. I was just, what? Because I didn't even take a look at who was running the sound when I got there.
Yeah. So that's how, so that's I just couldn't do it or whatever. But another thing, we're geeks, on all this stuff for nerds or whatever when it calls, Greg's paying, we find this DVD, this old cartoon.
Great stuff. Oh, I got to let you borrow sometime if you have a VHS player. The old Marvel animated where they just took panels of comic books.
I think those are awesome.
I have one. I have an Iron Man.
Those Iron Man,
yeah.
Iron Man. I got home from school and I still think those are awesome.
They are cool in a way. They're very retro-y, simple.
I like retro-y in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You ever see the Moby Dick cartoon?
No.
It's I think it's one of the weirdest combinations. It's Ator from the center of the earth. It's this Conan Barbarian and the Moby Dick hour, where now Moby Dick's a good guy.
Wow. I gotta
I'll
start
send you
watching.
a clip of it.
Yeah. I gotta start watching because I buy these. I never watch them. I buy these 100 greatest cartoons things. And, just because they got weird characters in them, I've been watching some of the weird stuff, like Felix the Cat, some of the early Felix the Cat.
I got Jabberjaw recently.
Yeah, that's weird stuff.
No, but the Popeye now, how are I want to go on to, I finally got the 33 to 30, the great set, it's awesome.
Yeah.
How are the 40s?
different.
Are they not stereotypical though, like war stuff?
It's almost all war stuff, yeah. And he's got the white suit instead of the black suit.
But he was based on a real guy, a Polish guy.
Was he?
Yeah, it's like based on a real Polish sailor.
Wow.
You know, which is like interesting. I just found that out like this year.
In the comic strip, he was really like ugly. I mean, he was they changed his personality a little bit.
Well, they say the Seeger cartoons were like the Popeye movie Altman did.
Yeah.
He really went with them, and they're a lot different from like the strips and stuff.
Right.
I still like that movie.
It is interesting. I watched about half of it.
There's a musical for you where you got to get into the weird vibe.
Yeah, but they don't seem to overdo it with the music. You know, I watched like half of it.
The only thing I don't like is the trope, like you get like how he hates spinach.
Yeah.
You know, the hero who doesn't like something.
Yeah, and then he has to like it or gets to like it.
Yeah, like that or whatever else. So what are you like doing now for like, you've been playing with Brian a lot. I see he's got a happy hour coming up at Abilene.
Yep, we got that. And I think I forget when that is.
I think it's the 14th of July.
Yeah, it's in July. We got a triple header in July. We've got that. We've got 2 steel rail shows on the 16th or 17th. I mean, that whole weekend we got three things. We got like gig every day. So
that's the thing about summer though. There's like so much. It's like so.
I know it's the typical problem that they do here.
You know, it is. It's like I saw like there were a couple times just like 4 different shows the same day.
I didn't even go to Lilac this year. I just have no desire to go to these things anymore for some reason.
I don't at all. I saw Michaela there. It's the last time I'll ever go to one just because I don't like, I got nailed. Like I was telling Adriana afterwards, we were hanging out, weren't we? Because I got hit with this cloud of pot smoke.
Oh, yeah.
But I was parked on South and walked.
Right.
And it was, I just don't like these big festivals or anything.
Yeah.
You know, Jazz Fest will do fine without me there.
Right. I mean, you know, you just get tired of the crowds and you get tired of waiting for stuff.
Parking.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. But, you know,
if you
do
enjoy
one
it,
once in a while.
You know, that's the big thing I say. If you know, it's not like if we don't like doing it, you can do it if you enjoy it.
I mean, basically, even today, we're thinking about going to, what's that, Concert on the Bluffs to go see the Bacon Brothers today. Kevin Bacon. And, I mean, we still might go. I mean, the show's not till 5, so we might still
well, that's
do
like
that.
I went to Fairport Canal Days last year, and I literally got the last parking spot in the park, or I just would have left.
So are there 2 different things, the Canal Fest and the Music Fest? There's 2 different ones?
They're all, like, you go down there, there's the festival, but you look at there's like the little maps there, there's all these different, like, my friend Casey, hopefully will be back again. She's playing with a band called Bootleg Hooch right now, and they played at like a wine and cheese bar.
Oh yeah, that's a big one over there.
Like the Andy Super Trio played like by the railroad tracks last year, but like then the Mighty High and Try were playing at the little brewery. You look on the map and it's all these clubs and stuff for the.
Yeah, I know we're playing Fairport Brewing Company on one of those dates, and then we're playing
maybe?
Smoking Hot Chicks the others. So we're doing 2 in one day, and we got Nate Coffey playing bass on those. So that was very nice of him to join us for that.
We're all interlapping on all these
shows
and everything.
Well, people are busy. They're in a lot of bands, and you know, I remember when I used to be in a lot of bands, and I got an amazing amount of crap for it. And now it just seems like the norm, and nobody seems to yell at anybody else. I'm the only one that got hollered at.
And maybe I'm wrong. Like when I grew up, like with my like new math and all those, all I remember like then, and I was a kid, so I could be wrong. You were in a band,
Right?
Now everybody's doing 5 or 6 bands.
Well, because if you want to play a lot, you have to.
Alex Cote, just Mighty High and Dry, Danger Bird, and Michaela Davis.
Wow, I didn't know that.
At least, and I think, geez, I've seen him thousands of times. I don't think he plays in the television areas with them. I don't think so.
Is that the bass player, Alex?
That would be he plays guitar in Mighty High and Dry. Otherwise, he drums.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I know it's Trevor Lake, Austin, and
wow.
Brendan in the television areas.
I got to bone up on this stuff. You are teaching me a lot today, sir.
Yes, but I'm thinking like Michaela is touring all over the place like this year, so you figure you got to get a fill in.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, but I can't. Like, I always wonder, do you ever go on to like play the wrong song from the wrong band when you started?
I've played the wrong endings. Oh, shit.
Does anybody know, though?
No, but you start to go to the, you think the song's going to end, and they go around another time or something. Or
That's the one thing, too. Like, I said, you keep up, like, now what's going on in comics, like, now, the new stuff, or you bother?
I don't bother with it.
Yeah.
I don't like the art for one reason, and there's too much of that. 2 pages of nothing but...
That started because of image with the splash covers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to watch a bunch of... I want to see a story. I want to read dialogue. I like that.
I actually found, like, those good Batman...
I'm pretty sure they do that for people that don't speak English.
Speaking of Batman, well, it's a visual art.
I know.
But...
I was kidding.
And they are. When I was in Poland, I actually bought a copy of the Batman movie in Polish, the comic book, which is awesome. But, like, I actually picked up the Batman cartoons from the 70s with they got Batmite in them, but it's Adam Westenberg. It's actually the real...
Oh, yeah. I watched Batman versus Two-Face the other day. I have
awesome.
that. It was good.
Wasn't that the last thing they ever did before he passed away?
I think so. Because you can hear it in his voice. His voice is a lot lower and rougher.
And another one, like for crossovers, if you could find the comic book, it's cheap, but Batman and the Avengers, Steed and Peel.
No. And
you can get it even at the library. It's the way they do the art and the characters. And the best part is, like, Robin's all blubbery about Mrs. Peel and all, like, golly gee, I'm all shy.
Yikes.
But it actually
I'll
works.
Check that out.
And then there's some, like, other ones they did, like Batman meets Captain America, where they played it like the old characters.
Oh.
So it's all Robin going, gee whiz.
Yeah.
But do you know why they did a rainbow Batman in the 50s?
No.
There's a really weird explanation for that. Remember Batman with his rainbow suit?
Yeah.
Okay, this is like what I finally found out why. It's a strange explanation, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, there's a storyline. Robin injured his shoulder. Fitting, right?
Right.
Batman did the flashy costumes to take attention off him so the bad guys would be more...
Oh, my God.
Him. See, there's a method to everything.
Wow, that's a stretch. But, yeah, because... Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Batman in space, Batman underwater, and, all that stuff.
Well, that was the 50s. There was, like, all that wacky stuff and everything.
I mean, Superman, they did the same thing, Super Horse and all this crazy stuff.
All the pets, like, and everything.
I did not watch that movie at all.
No, I didn't either, but all, like, the super... I remember there was, like, Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah. Well, they still have that, sort of, in the Batman Beyond. The dog is there. They just don't call him Bat Hound.
Yeah, but Ace or whatever, like it's like the wrestler, the Masked Superstar, who had a cat called the Masked Meow, who also wore a mask.
Oh my God!
Can you imagine getting a cat out of this? But I think they're going to lock us up in the pad itself if we go on the way we're going.
Yeah,
we already are halfway padded in.
All right, well,
so it's been fun as always.
Yeah.
It's been, thank you for coming into our demented minds for a little while.
I hope you've learned something of absolutely no value today.
And we have coming up our good friends, and hopefully they'll be Alyssa Tran's going to be back in town playing at B-Side in a few weeks. And I want to hear all about her. She saw Taylor Swift.
Oh.
She loves Taylor. I want to hear all about that. Our friends, The Living Room, Frank's been on, he has been on. Maybe we'll drag Amber and Eric on. They're playing, first time ever, they're playing at Skylark on the 17th.
Okay.
They're playing with The Chores, and all I know about The Chores is Ben Morey produced their album, so they got to be good.
Oh.
Now, I wish the show wasn't so late, but what can you do?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff, I suppose what you can do in the summer, pace yourself. You want to go see it, go see it.
Yeah, the Cheap Trick thing was our big excursion weekend, to me, it just felt good to get away, just to not be in your area even for 2-3 days, then you come back
and
then do a couple, maybe one a month or something.
And you want to be at a concert where they don't pull you out and make you guest play.
Right, yeah.
And everything else.
I never mind that, though.
For Cheap Trick, that would be...
Yeah, that would have been great. And I gotta say, man, that Drex Nielsen is a really good drummer. He's got that style down.
I like that they kept it. They didn't have any problems with Bunny. I think he just retired.
Yeah,
and
awesome. They did have another guitar player, and I believe it might have even been Robin Zander's son.
Yeah, because I think Peterson's sick. I think he's got, unfortunately, health
No, he was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah.
I know he's had some health issues. Yeah, Robin Zander's son. I think he's released his own. He's released album.
And he sang a song. He's a good musician.
I was actually thinking of that 80s stuff, like If You Want My Love, I've Got That
Yeah.
stuff. I forgot all about that, like She's Tight.
They did that one.
Because that's the show
yeah.
when they played like Day Tripper Rick and his guitar, like
Yeah.
Slice of the Beatles and everything.
I noticed that Rick Nielsen doesn't play quite as many leads as he used to. I think I heard some rumors that he's can't play as well as he could before. So maybe that's why they got the other person.
And they're still going, though. They're still rocking away.
Yeah,
As
man.
we are and everything, so look forward to
And
that.
Xander still sounds like great, so.
Very cool. But we have the Mighty High and Dry. We put on a great show, which is awesome.
Yeah, they were very,
and
very
hopefully
good.
We'll get Kyle and Alan on here sometime.
I'm not sure which song.
We have we're not going to leave you high and dry, but we're going to just pick one.
We're going to leave you mighty, mighty happy.
Yeah,
So-
mighty happy to pick out like a random song from the.
I think it's called Little Red Dress or something. I'm going to pick that one.
It's their new, Pick It Up CD album. It's live.
Yeah, it's very good.
So
It's
cool.
really good.
And until next time, Alviderzan, Gesundheit. Watch those allergies.
Goodbye now, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, do we have a proper ending? See ya.
Slip on that little red dress one more time for me. Yeah, baby.
I'm gonna slip on that little red dress one more time for you. Hey, baby. Nothing like
Sweet kisses
on a Friday night. Ain't nothing like feeling nobody when you hold me tight.
There's a look in your eyes can't be replaced. Oh, baby.
The atmosphere of your love that could never be traced. Oh, baby, let's just make love
In this
for pity fire. That's right. Walk into that station, just make it You've been wanting me, such a strong lingering Don't you tell me what you want.
Take off that little red dress.
Ooh.
Take off that little red off that little red dress.
Naughty boy.
Take off that little red dress.